Okay, now let us talk about this book, and it is a children's book, and it is the Barnabas Project by the Fan Brothers, right? Terry, Eric, and Devin Fan. It is a Francis Lincoln children's book, and we got a copyright of 2020, right? Hot off the press. No, you could have knocked me over with a feather when I saw this book, right? I could not believe that young minds are being exposed to such material, right? No, the book is about a half mouse, half elephant in a world of perfect pets. Barnabas is not quite perfect and is kept out of sight until his dreams of freedom lead him and his misfit friends on a perilous adventure. This book is about the mixing and mingling of the seed. And this book proved to me that humanity have not learned their lesson. Because if you go back to the religious text, it tells you about Noah's flood. And that is the main reason why Noah's flood had to happen, because of the mixing and mingling of the seed. Now, many people would want you to believe is because the sons of God, the angels, had sex with the daughters of man and they were giants on the earth, right? Understand that the divine power, the divine hand, the Most High Creator is not that petty, right? And I'm not making excuses for what the fallen angels did, right? But the Most High Creator is not that petty that He will cause such a destruction purely because His disobedient sons decide to have sex with the daughters of man. It was a whole lot more. They were mixing and mingling the seed. And I cannot believe that young minds are being exposed to this. Chimeras, right? Now, a lot of you that took the Nephilim seed, many of you will be having chimeras because your DNA is tainted, right? And that is the whole thing with the mark of the beast. Contaminate your temple, right? Now, you need to understand the times that we're living in and know that we are in the midst of a spiritual war. The devil is very crafty and is very subtle. And that is why they attack children. They attack the minds of our children to groom them into the world that they are creating around us, right? Now, they are trying to get children used to the idea of these abomination coming on the earth, where we have animal hybrids, human hybrids. That's where we are heading, right? And it shows us, it shows me especially, that humanity have not learned their lesson, right? Now, let us get into this book because I'm finding it very creepy, and you got to ask some critical questions. What is it that the Fan Brothers are trying to tell us, right? Is it just me? Am I reaching? Am I looking into it too much? But something is definitely going on with this book, right? And it's just too much for young minds. And why would someone expose children to this type of material? Now, when you open the book, you will see this page, right? And each one of these creatures that look like the children, they don't look like adult creatures. They have their own file with their names. Now, pay attention to the purple circle, and we see Wilkes paper clips, right? Because they're putting special emphasis on this paper clip. So this is the first that we will see, but we will see paperclip again, and we will see just how they are putting a special emphasis on paperclip. Now this goes back to World War II, right? Now I'm not going to read all of this material. I'm just going to read a bit of it. It says Barnabas lived in a secret lab. He was half mouse and half elephant, and he lived in a lab as long as he could remember. No half mouse, half elephant. That's mixing and mingling of the seed. It goes on to state the lab was hidden beneath perfect pets on a perfectly ordinary streets. What in God's name are they trying to tell us? No, they are telling you that the lab is hidden beneath a store known as Perfect Pets. Now pay attention to the building on top of Perfect Pets, Wilkes paper clip, and they make sure that they put a paper clip on top showing you, emphasizing the paper clip. Now remember the Nazi scientist that was brought over to the United States on a program known as Operation Paperclip. These Nazi scientists that never faced justice, right, for doing what they did to those prisoners. Also, pay attention to the arrows where they're showing you the DNA helix, the double helix, right? What are these people trying to tell you? Understand that we live in a wicked, cruel world, right? And this book is just too much. What are they trying to tell us? These scientists, right, are the ones that were experimenting on the prisoners. I won't even call their name because YouTube will get really crazy if you call the J word, right? Now let us continue. It was deep underground where no one would ever find it. Now we have heard about rumors and allegations about underground facilities where they are holding people's children and people's loved ones, where they are doing experiment. Now these authors are telling us that there is a pet store, right? A lab, sorry, that is located under a pet store deep underground where they are conducting genetic experiment. They are not hiding it, right? Now, when we look on these creatures, they are quite young, right? So could we say children? Are they trying to say, or am I reaching that they've got children underground that they are doing experiments on? Notice that this underground facility takes up quite a lot of spaces, right? It is over about 13 buildings, something like that. Connect the dots, people, and ask questions. This is a children's book, right? And this is what they are telling you. The lab was where they make perfect pets, except Barnabus wasn't quite perfect. He had been put in the part of the lab called failed projects, right? His home was rather small, but that just meant it was easier to keep tidy. The green rubber suits always feed Barnabas his favorite food, which was cheese and peanut, right? Now, the container that they kept them in their homes looks like a bird cage. Even though it is glass, it reminds me of a bird cage that they usually keep children in when they take them away from their parents to use them for experiment. Understand, allegedly, understand that we're living in a cruel world, and this is the reason why the world was destroyed in the first place. And all of this information about underground facilities, about genetic manipulation, mixing and mingling of the seed, it is in a children's book. Why do you put such information, such strong information in a children's book? And why would anyone want to expose children to this type of information? We need to keep our eyes open and pray and say, glory be to the Most High.